Hello boys, it is Orca with another commentary on my YouTube channel. And what we're gonna see today is the first episode of the series called How Can You Beat the GOAT? And this is a 1v1 matchup. Andrew versus Rupe on Perf, I think.
Local units.
Where you can expand straightly. And it is gonna play it Andrew versus Rupe, the GOAT. Won my 1v1 tournament. Yep. And Andrew is playing as the Andrews versus Rupe playing as a Cutter. So on this map, definitely even matchup in my slightly opinion. I mean, the Andrews maybe slightly favor when it comes to Tech 2 and getting Grenadier. Because the Grenadier only costs 250. But the Cutter straight have an upgraded Expo and an upgraded main, so I think it's gonna be even. This is the perspective of Andrew, and we're gonna see what happened. So usually he expanded.
Local units.
Sorry. So he expanded. Gorn Reactor 5th on his main base and Barracks 3rd on his Expo. We saw a lot of Forge plays, maybe Forge versus Forge in the final of my tournament. You can watch it on YouTube. You can rewatch it. It's SmoothTube versus Rupe, and Rupe won. But SmoothTube already had a lot of games. He showed in the bracket how you can play Forge and play a big matchup versus like an Andrews on this map. All good videos. They played on the tournament. You can rewatch all of them. I even have playlists of the brackets they played, where you can rewatch all that stuff. And I'm just saying, Andrew was flying out of his bracket. I think he lost versus Waldrons, and I think then he needed to play versus Ninja or SmoothTube. I don't know. I'm assuming Ninja and SmoothTube were on the same. No, maybe not. What I know is Andrew was flying out of his bracket, so he was not even on the run of 8. And Rupe was winning the whole tournament. Yeah, I think Andrew had a way harder group than Rupe had. But Rupe went in the tournament as the favorite player. And Andrew is having a good Warlock engagement, getting Grenadier on the other hand and building a vehicle depot. Having his second tech up because he have his reactor. So he have the hog lead, he's catching quite more hogs. Losing one, no, not losing a single hog, and is healing the hogs up. So 7 hogs are getting healed. Rupe only has 1 hog left, and Rupe is dropping a mech and killing 4 hogs in total. And this is even a lost trade for Andrew.
Local
4 Hawks
units.
are the same amount of money than
All units.
a Mac costs, plus the 350 for the heal.
All units.
And Andrew is seeing what's going on and he's figuring out it is Rocket Launcher Marines upcoming.
All units.
And Rocket Launcher Marines are smashing
All
Hawks.
units. All
If you get if you have a Red Bar Hawk and a Marine is popping out of the base, the Red Bar Hawk instantly dies when you press the Y
All
button
units.
on the correct
All
Hawk.
units. Local
So
units.
far so even
All
after the
units.
bad trades in the beginning. I would say Rupee
Depot
was
complete.
evening up. But what you actually don't know is that Rupee, I think Rupee down tagged. This is my assumption,
Local units.
and
Local units.
we are having flat tanks
Station
versus
upgrade complete.
Rocket Launcher Marines. But the good thing is,
Local
Rupee don't have a mech, and Andrew upgraded his base,
Local units.
so the cheese of the base is not gonna happen. What was that? I think
Local
Rupee
units.
was slightly misclicking.
Local units.
Yeah,
Local units.
because he rocket launched the base instead of the upcoming thingy. And we are having more and more of those little bad boys. Andrew is building a turret,
Units.
and in slight and in a good amount of numbers, the Marines are quite good versus the tanks.
Local units.
If Andrew is getting canny,
Turret improved.
it is over for the Marines. But so far so good.
Local units.
Rupee doesn't have the amount of units to fight the tanks, and Andrew is catching reinforcements,
Local units.
which is always a good idea when your units are stronger
Barracks.
than the reinforcement units. Andrew, on the other hand, is getting the flamethrower upgrade.
Local units.
I think it's called Flashbang.
Enemy engagement.
And he's pushing with his tanks to scout what is going on. Oh, sorry,
Local
boys.
units.
Because Rupee needs to swap up, because he needs to know if Andrew
Research.
is getting his third tag up
Local units.
and getting canny.
Local units.
He only have one chance building also tanks, because Hornets are kinda useless. Especially when you have your third tag up, you only need
Local
to
units.
build some Wolverines.
Local units.
And that was a good control on the other hand from Andrew, because
Local units.
the Marines
Local
blocked the right side of the way
Enemy
of the
engagement.
tanks, and the Spartan tried to sneak into the tanks, but it worked pretty well for Andrew so far.
Local
And
units.
Andrew is pushing up the last Marines, getting his own reactor back to get Tech 2 back.
Local units.
And
units.
it's Flamers versus Marines. And
Local units.
I mean, it's Flamers and Tanks versus Marines. And Rupee with the worst mech you can drop, not hitting a single one of the tanks. So 600 down the drain in this case for Rupee. Maybe he hit it. No, I think he didn't hit it. The tanks. I think the Marines hit at the tanks earlier. That's why they are red bar. And Andrew dropped the here. And the Spartan again don't get into the tank. Andrew is paying good attention of what is going on the battlefield. And Andrew clicked Kenny? I think he clicked Kenny. We having Kenny tanks with Marines and one Spartan. Yeah, this is definitely Kenny.
Unit research.
A vehicle depot slowing. That indicates Kenny.
Roger that. Send us in. Pulling out.
Yeah, and Andrew, of course, Andrew had
Supply pad complete.
way more better trades, and through pivots with all of his Marines, he denied a
Canister
couple
shell.
of pads,
Research.
and that's it. Didn't kill a single tank.
Send us in. Orders? Bring in the heat. Send us
Supply pad up.
I think Rupert didn't have adrenaline, and when you don't have adrenaline, it is pretty hard to catch the tanks with the rocket launchers, because the tanks are faster than the Marines.
ready to burn.
And then you have a map where you can
Waiting for orders.
go behind the bases and around the bases. It is pretty hard
Reactor
to
plane.
kill the units. And Andrew is getting Rupe's reactor. No! No for Rupe. And getting PT. And maybe he's getting chain amped. And Ruby on the other hand didn't even have Kenny.
Focusing lens. Research.
Oh, he could get chain amped. He's getting chain amped. He's down taking into Tech 2 because he's losing the reactor again. And this is kind of awful for Ruby so far. In this stage of the game, losing your own reactor, knowing your enemy might be having
Local
Tech 4,
units. Power turret research. Local
and this should be game. If Ruby is not showing up with 8 tanks or something, it should be game.
Local units. Local units. Supply pad complete.
You never know, maybe he also need to rebuild his barracks to get even the reactor back, to even build tanks. And what was this?
Chain
This was
amplifier research.
this was a misclick of a history.
Out. Pulling out. Send us in.
Andrew, what are you doing? The misclick of the history. He could have double pumped tanks right now. What are you doing?
Send us in. Give me an order. Going.
I think he assumed
Send
that
us in.
he. I don't know what he was thinking, to be honest. He down-tacked one of those 2 reactors, and
Martin on deck.
then he was thinking he has the reactor on the other side.
Local units.
I don't get it.
Local units.
But even with this misclick, this disaster misclick, he should have the lead. He's recycling the turrets to get even more money, because he's knowing he's the aggressor right now, and he should be not the defender. So he's the one making damage in a second, and not the guy
Got it.
need to defend.
Suits me.
And this is what you guys see. This is not what you see very often.
On the way. Right away.
Andrew cryoed the base. I don't know why he cryoed the base, to be honest.
I'm there.
All units.
But Rupe don't even have Kenny right now, I think.
Suited up.
Now he has Kenny. But I watched on Rupe's stream, and if
Enemy engaged.
on that point Andrew was going on the other side of the map with the tanks, Rupe don't even had Kenny. So there was a time window. It was Spartan PT versus Stuck tanks. Stuck Spartan tanks, sorry.
Ready. Send me in.
And
Suited up.
chain
On
up.
the way.
Supply pad complete.
And I don't know how long this goes still, but I can spoil Andrew is gonna win this game.
Send me in. I'm on it.
Local units. Local units. Local units.
Yep, China is too strong.
You are victorious.
And there we go. How can you beat the GOAT? With Chain PT and Spawn when the GOAT only has Stuck or even Kenny. I hope you love this. Put a like on it and write a commentary, and I catch you guys in the next one. I hope you guys have a great weekend and see you guys later.